What's up, guys? This video is about knowing when to back away. Knowing when to back away. So me just scrolling on YouTube, looking at new content. I came across this guy's channel. He's doing maintenance on his Urus, Lamborghini Urus. The sports SUV. Whether you like it or not, they're pretty neat. Now I have some gripe about it. Like, I don't like the fact that they have tiny brake pads in the rear. That always throws me off. So, but anyway, whether you like it or not, I think they're nice cars. So, for the price, I wouldn't pay the price that with this Lamborghini, right? So it is what it is. I'll go other ways about getting it. I'll get one used. Long story short, I'll just get one used. That's the best I can do. And keep in mind, you can literally get one of these cars for free, any vehicle for free, get a house for free, but you have to pay for the maintenance. You have to pay for the taxes. So that's the thing that gets a lot of people caught up. So, especially people in the hood, they'll get these luxury cars. They'll be pretty old, but they'll have like 200,000-300,000 miles on them, and they'll get it for like 10,000. It's like, yeah, you got it for cheap, but you gotta pay for maintenance. The maintenance is gonna destroy you. So anyway, the video is about the guy, picking up his vehicle from maintenance, from the shop, and of course it turned into a day in the life, whatever. I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, you all right? It's a lot of money, of course, no surprise. It's some simple maintenance, and it just turned into a day in his life. So I'm watching it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not really seeing nothing that's just eye catching right off the back. But as the video went on, it really was about nothing. It was just about, oh, look what I'm doing. It was a day in the life type of situation. And that was it. So I'm looking at it, and he tried to give out a motivational speech. And just off the speech he gave, I knew it wasn't gonna be anything about business. It wasn't gonna be any kind of financial advice or partnership, none of that. It was just, he said something about just keep praying and working hard and believe in God, and you can do whatever you want. And I'm like, okay, all right, so work without faith is dead, right? I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a holy roller, I'm more of a spiritual type of guy. But if it's bullshit, I'm gonna call it out. So however you want to go about that, that's on you, but basically just know nothing important is going to help you in your day-to-day life as far as trying to make money, or as the scammers used to say last year, financial freedom. He was just saying some random stuff. So when he said that, I'm like, I could look more into this, but I don't care. I just ignored that, watched it for a few more seconds, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. I'm gonna end it here. So the guy was at the barbershop. He's balding. He's literally balding. He has no edge up, and that also let me know everything about the guy. It's like, okay, well, it seems like, 'cause I don't know him, it seems like you're doing pretty good. I mean, you have this very expensive vehicle. You're staying in an apartment. So I'm like, I'm gonna say this: regardless of what people say online, I'm gonna get a house. Like, if I was just in that position where, okay, I'm either staying in an apartment or I'm gonna get a house. Now I know there's a lot of pros and cons. It's pros and cons to both. But what I do, I'm gonna get a house. I already know whether I'm doing it or not, or I have plans on what I'm gonna do later. I'm definitely gonna need a house. This is how it's gonna work with me. So that's my life. My lifestyle is gonna be different from yours. If you're not a hands-on person, you just want to go somewhere, sleep, just chill on the couch, look outside the window all day, that's fine. You can do that. But you're never gonna convince me to not buy a home. It's never gonna happen. A lot of people say, oh, you don't have to worry about this, that. No, I understand. But the rent will always continue to increase. You will never own that apartment. Only thing you have to worry about is taxes, and you have to worry about any maintenance. But you do have to worry about that rent constantly going up, and it'll constantly keep going up every year as long as you stay there. Now, maybe it's a cap. I know certain states, they have rent caps, which is highly needed because, at the end of the day, no matter where you're living, every place should have a cap. It's only so much that your apartment should be be, you know, it's only so much you should be paying for your apartment every month. I don't care. I mean, me being a landlord and all that, yeah, but that's coming from me. I'm telling you guys the truth. Like, even at a certain extent, I was like, I only can charge people so much. You know, only so much, because there's only so much people make in a week, right? You're supposed to make that, you know, you're supposed to be able to pay your rent 4 times a week, or, you know, or if you get paid twice a month. But at the end of the day, you should be able to pay your rent. You're supposed to be able to pay your rent 4 times a month. That's why they vet you. But I know a lot of people, they not doing it, because a lot of people can't do that. But for some reason, they stand in these $1,800, $2,100 apartments, and they're only making $800, $700 you know, a week, or whatever. Anyway, moving forward. So he's at the barbershop. Once I saw that, I already knew, you know, no offense, it's a bullshit channel. It's not gonna give you any kind of important information. It's just basically a guy doing random shit. You're not gonna gain any information from it. So the guy's literally, he doesn't have not an edge up. He doesn't have I just lost the word for it. You guys know what I'm saying, but he doesn't have any hair. He's balding. The dude is literally balding. So he doesn't have an edge up. His hair starts literally on top of his head. And he literally said, oh yeah, you know, I'll come to the barber. You know, he try to hype him up. But you can feel the tension through the screen. The barber is uncomfortable cutting that man's hair because he's going bald. So instead of him getting a hair transplant or you know, doing treatment with it, he's just going with it. So the barber's uncomfortable. You can just feel it. You know what I mean? You can just feel the tension through the screen. And not only that, he brought up the price of his haircut. He said, yeah, you know, you guys pay $100. I'm like, who is we? I'm a terrible example, right? But who is we? Yeah, y'all paying $100. I'm paying $200 a cut. So again, I'm like, it's a bullshit channel. It's like, what is that? What is that supposed to do for your views? What is that supposed to do for the people that's watching your video? He tried to come off like he just balling out of control. I'm gonna say this too, the guy's black, not saying that, you know, Mexicans and you know, white people don't do it. I know for a fact, but that's not really common for them. It's not really common. You'll have some that'll go beyond what they really can do, but it's not really common. But you know, I'm gonna say this to the black community, that's a norm. That is a norm. So the guy, he has a vehicle, and I know he didn't pay it off, because like, it's just certain things you just don't do, right? So he brags about a $200 haircut. The guy doesn't have an edge up. His hair literally starts at the top of his head, and he's proud of it. On top of that, yeah, I'll pay $200 for a cut. In what world do you live in to where instead of the barber, he has his price, and you're like, oh, no, don't worry about it, man. I'm gonna pay you $200 instead of the $60 or instead of the $50. And I'm like, what? So, you know, anyway, he's an older guy, and I'm just soaking all the information in, right? All the stuff that people probably not paying attention to, besides, you know, him balding. Somebody did point that out. But you know, when you try to look out for somebody, you know, and they got low self-esteem, you know how they go. You're the bad guy. So shout out to the guy who did point that out. And I'm just looking at everything. I'm like, okay, he's the guy that just wasn't the popular kid in school. So whatever he does to get money, whatever he do to get money, he finally got to that point to where, okay, now I'm doing good for myself. Or like I said, I don't know the guy. It seems like he's doing good for himself. So now he decided to just start a YouTube channel, just do day in my life videos. And I guess you want to feel like he's just that guy, but it's not, man. You know, either you got it or you don't. But for you to, whatever you do to make money, for you to go out and purposely waste money, that says a lot about the individual. And then, like I said, his hairline gave it away. It's like, okay, all this stuff makes sense now. You know, you're a middle-aged guy, you're balding, you have low self-esteem. All this stuff just came out, you know, now it makes sense. Couldn't finish watching this video because once he got to that, you know, to the haircut, you know, we went to the barber, he talking about $200 for a haircut. I'm like, what the hell you ball, bro? Like, but anyway, all that started to make sense. So the price, one pays when you have low self-esteem, or you believe that money will give you access to popularity. When in reality, it won't. It's just you either have it or you don't. I'm used to seeing that, especially in the black community, so that's not a norm to me. They're so caught up on looking the part than just being the part. Now, there's nothing wrong with you living in an apartment. You got a expensive vehicle. You spend a whole lot of unnecessary money on haircuts when you really don't have any hair. But people see that. Now, you have a lot of people that's not going to tell you anything because they don't want to cause a scene or, hurt your feelings. So they'll just ignore it. But you will have some people that will call you out on it. So whoever this guy is, I hope he obviously don't have friends or something. I don't know. I just couldn't. The friends I had, they wouldn't let me go out the house looking like that. If I'm balding like that, like you don't have an edge up, they gonna call me out and say, bro, this cut it off. Just cut it off, man. Like don't do yourself like that. Because when you out there hanging out with people, you're not only embarrassing yourself, but you're embarrassing them as well. So that shows a sign of maturity when, I know women is a different story. I'm not gonna just say, that's a different story. But from an actual guy, that shows a level of maturity to when your hair is just giving out, that you finally decide to cut it. That shows a lot of maturity, regardless of what people say. But that's what wouldn't happen with me. I know there's ways to grow it back. I understand that, or you can get your hair transplant. But in the meantime, you need to go ahead and just own up to it. So when that was happening with me, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be one of these guys always wearing a hat or a Steve Harvey. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'd rather just go ahead and deal with it and be done with it. You know what I mean? If anything, I probably can find a cure for it. Whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just not gonna live my life like that. I see so many guys, they just refuse to give it up. It's like, damn, bro, like it's embarrassing to see somebody out in public like that. It really is. So the fact that the guy never just accepted him being bald and just cut his hair, or like the dude said in the comments, he said, "Hey man, go get a hair transplant. Either fix it or just shave it off." But since he didn't do that, and his mannerism, the way he acts, right, that lets me know that he is just a facade. It's just all an act. That's not really how he is. He's being fake. You can just look at somebody, body posture, the way they act, in public, and well, now on social media, you can just study them. You can understand that now they just acting. So I don't know. I mean, if you think that you paying a lot to for maintenance on a vehicle, is you winning in life, or you bragging about instead of you paying $100, you paying $200 for a haircut, and you're bald. I don't understand. If that's winning, I don't want to be a part of it. But it was just strange, right? It was just so much that was happening. Nothing was making sense in the video. And I'm like, damn, like people still doing this. It's 2026. People still walking around trying to pretend that they somebody that they clearly are not. There's nothing wrong with spending your money, but it's just certain ways to go about it. If you're really doing it like that, you'll have some type of tips or advice, or you can explain your situation instead of you just doing random stuff and none of it makes sense. So that's how I know someone's broke, when they just do random stuff with their money for no reason. It's not going to benefit them whatsoever, or they'll spend way more than what they need to on a particular item or whatever. That lets me know the person doesn't have any money, any legit money. I'll say that, because normally when people spend money like that, they're normally criminals. Those only kind of people who spend money like that are criminals who just it just $200, bro. Like the barber was I felt bad for the barber. The barber, I know he wanted to tell him, but he was like, he just didn't. He just went along with the program. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, but I don't know. You don't have to never be a fake individual, right? Just be yourself, man. be yourself. I understand there's some guys out there that never was that, you know, the star quarterback or the point guard or, you know, the Golden Gloves champion back in the day, and now they got older. Which that's supposed to happen as you get older, you're supposed to make more money, but all of a sudden they started coming across more money or making more money, and they try to go back in time. Oh man, I never had. Let me go back and let me start dressing like a 20-year-old. And I'm like, nah, bro, it's okay. It's just that wasn't the life that was meant for you. I'll say that right now. That wasn't the life that was meant for you. The worst thing you can do is be a fake individual. Because I'm gonna say this: you may have some guys that probably won't tell you, but for the most part, a female, she gonna let you know. She gonna let you know you being fake. That's not who you really are, especially people that you went to school with, because I don't care what you say, you have people that you went to school with that know you. You have people that you grew up with in your neighborhood that know you. Just because they don't comment on your videos or whatever the case may be, don't mean you just can get away with it, because somebody's gonna pull your card at some point in time. But the worst thing you do is be a fake individual. And on top of that, act your age, man. You know, when we used to go out to the club all the time, you see all these old guys. Again, there's nothing wrong with, you know, going out, but it was kind of odd. It's like, well, damn, it ain't nobody in here but 20-year-olds, and you got some 30-year-olds, but you ever see them 40 and 50-year-old dudes in there, and you know, they try to dress like us, and it's like, that's strange. Like, if you're gonna go out, but don't be in your 40s and your 50s trying to dress like a 20-year-old. And it's odd seeing that, but a lot of them just, if I just believe I'm young, I am young. It's like, okay, that's cool, but we can clearly see that you're not young. You're creeping out the females. Not every female, well, now it's different, you know, all them prostituting, but back then, females wasn't just going at the old guys like that, you know what I mean? But now it's different. It's, you know, they out here just, get the money, so they just doing that just for the money now, but more of them was doing it. You had some that was doing it, but that was very rare, and I'm gonna say this too. If they were doing it, they was shamed. We will always shame them. Not just us, the girls will do it too. But it's a different time now, but don't be that guy, bro. Be yourself. I know you probably didn't have you didn't have the great genetics, or your parents probably wasn't rich. You couldn't just ball out of control like you wanted to. But just because you started making more money now, don't mean you can just rewind time. You can't. You just got to keep going. You know, so if you are in this position where you're doing great financially, congratulations. But don't play yourself. Don't go out here thinking that you're 21 again, and no, don't do that, man. Just keep living your life. That's just how it is. It's called accepting reality. Some people had it great, some people had it good, some people had it bad, some people had it terrible, but the worst thing you can do is be fake. So people see that, and normally what they do, just stay away from you. That's normally what will happen. But other than that, it's like, bro, just keep living your life and just stay true to yourself. But, just because you buy some stuff don't mean that people gonna respect you. People gonna think, oh yeah, you cool. Nah, man. That ain't it no more. So anyway, if you come across this video, man, just think about your life decisions, and don't be so quick to put yourself in financial ruins because you're trying to impress some strangers that don't care about you. So just be aware, man. But just me seeing that video, it was just weird, bro. Just so much was going on, nothing made sense, and it was just weird. The guy wanted to be a motivational speaker, and it was just messy. But hopefully the guy just come to realization that he don't need to do all that to have a following or anything like that. So it's all about being mature and just coming to realization where you at in life, man. So again, don't put yourself in a financial situation to oppress anybody, not just females, anybody, because once the money gone, they gonna be gone with it. So just be aware of that, man. But anyway, this video is a little too long. It's a little random rant, but it's just funny that, again, it's 2026 and people are still doing it. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, you guys got any comments, any concerns, leave them down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, no matter what. Protect your peace, your pockets, and your purpose.